So you took over the sports ministry from, was it General Anokwenu?
Oh, Anokwenu was PNDC member responsible for sports at the time.
Yeah, but who was the secretary for sports before you took over? At the time when you were deputy secretary.
Deputy secretary.
When I was before Sarah Mensah.
Yeah, long before.
Way after Sarah.
When I took over, sports was when General Kwenu was PNDC member responsible for sports.
Yeah.
At the time, and then deputy, and then he, bowed down.
Okay. So when we got into the democratic dispensation, then you became the substantive minister.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So what kind of sports ministry did you inherit?
Yeah, it was
because 82. We had a Cup of Nations.
Yeah.
So your first task was to see us through the Cup of Nations. And where was it held?
That was when we co-hosted with Nigeria.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's when we co-hosted with Nigeria.
Yeah. So generally, what kind of sports ministry, sports situation in this country?
Sports situation in the country wasn't the best. That was when we were still running Ghana Amateur Football. Well, the association was Ghana Amateur Football Association. It means that we were not that organized. And having gone around and seen some of these things, and anytime I get such positions, I consult, I read about the situation, how others started. And so I thought that there was a need for that. Because the players, you are Ghana Amateur Football Association, players were not being paid monthly salaries. They were just there because it is an amateur. Nobody was paying anything. Players were not, the way the players were treated, sometimes they were sleeping in classrooms.
We're talking about 92, 93, or 93 when you took over.
Okay.
When you're now the minister.
When I took over, we were still running amateur football without, when almost all clubs globally were running professional league. So my first, objective was to break that jinx and make sure that we restructured the sports administrative structure. It ought to be restructured. In those days, Clensu, all the big,
Clensu,
and all those people,
squadron leaders,
and all the guys who were very adamant to change were there. So my first meeting with all the clubs and their leaders was at the British Council Hall. And I told them I was going to roll out my manifesto for running football in Ghana. And some of the things that I took advantage of, anytime when you are a mayor, I was made a mayor of the appointed, or he was elected as a member of the World Conference of Mayors. So every year we have one conference here and there, and especially when I was in Accra when we were having the relationship with the Staffordshire County Council, 14th district. Anytime there was a meeting there, at the end of hardware, they want to know from you where you want to relax. I want to go and watch your football. I want to visit your FA to learn how they organize, where they started from. Because they didn't start from where they are today, from somewhere that needed to. And they even wanted to know the club I support. They say it's Man U, so Man U matches. I visited all those places and found out, got a blueprint for handling players, the blueprint for the structure So it was in my library, and so when I met all these people, I took them through. I knew our system in this country from when we were playing for hours up to today. I also was aware that some of the players, I spoke to all the players, they also talked to me every Saturday morning, wherever I find myself in Ghana, I went to play with the Sunday people.
Sunday Stars.
Sunday Stars. And I was the one who introduced Kiffy clubs.
Mm-hmm.
And it was endorsed by the PNC, so I went around everywhere and launched them. And anytime, whatever I did, I had a card. You go to Prepe, the Prepe playing field, they have 4 Kiffy clubs. I have the cards, go and play. So they're able to open up. The national teams have never been happy about where they were being camped. You see it and go and sleep on, forms and stuff before you want to play football for your nation. And I also found out that if you want to win something, you start from somewhere. And I remember I was very lucky, again, on the back of City Council. We went to Germany, and they were the ones that we were collaborating with when it comes to, at that time, waste management. So, they are club managers, they're all football. I went around, learned from them, and then there was one day that the FA decided to have a workshop to focus on their abysmal performance during World Cup and stuff. So they needed to do something. So I went with them, and it was interesting. And they had planned, that was, I think, 1979. And then what they wanted to do, that by 2006, they should win the World Cup. They haven't won the World Cup for a long time. They needed to plan. And
with the Ghana FA?
No. The
Which
German
FA?
FA,
They
were having, they had challenges for some time.
Okay, yeah.
And so because I knew one of their senior guys, I also went and listen. So then we went to another meeting in Netherlands, and then they had started that they needed to build a national teams, training camp, and they had to plan for the World Cup. They also doing so badly, and so I took some of the notes. So we came down. I told my people that the first thing that we had to do was to break away from the amateur and then start professional league in this country. And also, we have to, because some of the problems that we had, they will still have. The club owners, the kind of group that you put together as your FA, should be people who are selfless, not club owners who always want to see their boys play for purposes of transfer.
That's where the money is, man.
Yeah, which I knew was happening. And I thought that this thing had to be stopped somewhere. So I also talked to them, found out their strategies, and then I came down. And then we decided that, look, I met with our people, we consulted. And I know that in this country, up to that time, I don't know what is happening in other places. When you start something, there are people who want to make sure that you don't succeed. Mm-hmm. There are people that will want to block you. So you have to do your homework. So all these things that we put together, that we're going to, by 2006, we should go to the World Cup. We're going to start professional football. And we're not going to relent. I also want to sponsor and support people who want to build academy. So that was where we thought we had to start from. And before that meeting, as I said, there were those who have planned to come and scatter it at the British Council. But I went ahead, we went through, and at the end of it all, there was somebody, I don't want to mention his name, with his team who had come to scatter it. And Clenso, who they thought, they didn't know that he was so close to me. It was one of the guys that they wanted to use. So I had full knowledge about what was going to happen. So they wanted to block that. It was too early. Ghana, had to wait for a while. Why do we want to go professional? Do you know where they started from? I finished everything, give and take, Q&A, 99% support. And then the guy who brought the cameras back was Clenso when he got that. And that's why they should listen to what Yoma was. And that they were all older than me, but I brought this idea, we should have done it long ago. But I said, look, we are going professional. All clubs will have to register as corporate entities. Luckily for us, Ghana then, we also have institutions in the country which are at that level. And that henceforth, our Black Stars will no longer sleep in classrooms. Henceforth, when you register, your coaches must be on payroll. The players should be on payroll.
Okay.
And
now, did you introduce this bonus thing to the Black Star players at the time?
Yeah.
The bonus.
Yes, the bonus, because we had to discuss it. Those days, there were some games that were being played, and we were getting all the feedback. And so, once we know how much the bonus is, that is it. And it wasn't anything that anybody would be allowed to, joke with.
Okay.
And that we also have to train our coaches.
Yeah.
We have to train our coaches. I went and made arrangement with FIFA. They brought us top-class coaches, and then they trained them in Winneba. We went and built 24 apartments, air-conditioned in Winneba. And then we got a list of all our former players, the stars, as Agrifin and Osekufi and all those people. Mm-hmm. And FIFA gave us top-class coaches.
To train them. And at the time, all those former players, we decreed that we're going to give them roles,
ID cards and roles. Mm-hmm. And then the issue about the academies too came in. And then the selection of the under-17 was also an issue. It has to be made on merit. We should know which coaches we are sending out there, so that from the constituencies to the districts to the regions, give us at the end of a certain period 10 players. Before you come to Accra Sports Stadium to come and make the selections and
justify
your inclusion. Okay. And I also told them, one of the things which was working then against our progress was politicization of sports. I said, you go and see there and they'll come and lie to you, this man is this, is that, is MPP. So I asked you, is he not a Ghanaian?
Okay.
So we took that away. And that was how come we started doing well. And
okay,
we
Citi,
went and had let me conclude this last one. So all the things that I churned out at the British Council Hall, we ended up by saying that now that people think that it has to be done, we'll go and hold a 5 days seminar in Woodeba.
At the time, the specialist training college, at the time, wasn't the university yet?
No. We had built, there was a sports wing.
Yeah.
So we went and had the workshop. I invited people from UK, Nigeria, and other places who have been through it. And there were some media guys who were determined to scatter our program. And they didn't know that it's difficult to scatter my program. So I was also ready with people who protect what we were going to do. And so we went there and started the program, roll it out. It was supported by everybody. But before we even go there, you have the Ghana League Clubs Association. There are reps in Accra. There are reps based in Accra. Very troublesome. So before we started this, then I had the hint that some people were lobbying and making sure that they would make sure that it didn't happen. So I traveled throughout the country and met with the owners of the club, with my team, and explained to them what we were going to do and the benefits that they would derive from what we were talking about. So,
building a professional...
That's right. Yeah. And so I needed reps from them. But if you said the same people who have been kicking against what we're doing in Accra to represent it, you can let them come, but we needed two people from your level. And so a day before the conference, I was there with my people. All those who came, we welcomed them and explained to them what we were up to. So at the end of the day, it went so well. And some people have planned to get outsiders to just
infiltrate.
Yeah, infiltrate and then make sure that it didn't happen. So after we were finished, the Nigerian rep, I didn't know the problem that he had transport, somebody who wanted, one of the media guys who wanted to pollute him to come and talk against it. Came down with him. They were late. So when we were about to conclude and he came, so we'll give him the opportunity to say something. So the Nigerian guy was given the opportunity. Took him, just ran him through. He was so happy. And then that person who wanted to scatter the thing asked him, he said, we'll give him the opportunity because he thought whether he thinks that Ghana at that time was ready to go professional. Ghana was to go professional. And then, because some of them think that we are not ready. So when the Nigerian got up, he broke the camel's back. He said, Mr. Chairman, Minister, gentlemen, Ghana was ready 30 years ago. And that was how come we started.
Nice. Okay, so good one. We will take a short break, and then when we come back, we would like to know a little bit about how you sought to also develop the lesser known sports, and also, what the policy direction was at the time. So this is still Footprint. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the program. This is Footprint. Today we are here with Honorable E.T. Mensah, and he took us from his early days when he used to be a footballer for Aroras, which was the second team for Accra Hearts of Oak then. And is it the other ones were Tornadoes? The Hurricanes, right? Hurricanes, yeah.
This third division player.
This is where you had You know, you had Dumas boys.
That was interdepartmental.
Okay.
Was introduced.
Yeah, Dumas.
But, you know, when you talk about our club, it was the Tema Club.
Yeah.
Like Asante Kotoko, like Hasford.
So that was the Hurricanes?
Yeah.
Oh,
Third Division Club.
Wow. I only knew Dumas. And then we also had Aquatex.
That was when we introduced interdepartmental.
Which is corporates.
Yeah,
owning,
corporates, yeah.
Owning, so you had Aquatex, you had Dumas.
And they were playing their league from before they were.
Wow, you had clubs like Stand Fast. And then Gihawk Stars.
Gihawk Stars, yeah. Interdepartmental.
Wow. You had Neoplan Stars.
Neoplan Stars,
Gihawk
yes.
Stars. Well, we should go back to
Lever Brothers.
Yeah.
Most of us who played for the Tema team used to play for Lever Brothers. They paid us so much.
Wow, interesting. So here we are now running sports in Ghana for many years. But you know, most officials who take over the management of sports tend to lean towards football at the expense of the lesser known sports. How did you have that in place? You know, what did you do to try and bring the others up? Well, it was just football.
No, at the time we brought up almost all the lesser known clubs. There were
the sports disciplines, I mean.
Sports disciplines, yes.
Really? So
it was
athletics?
during my time that athletics did a lot, and then when Prof was Prof also helped before he even became the president. We built the AstroTurf and all those things. Then tennis, lawn tennis also was, you know, did so well.
Oh, the inter-school sports?
The inter-school sports also did well.
So when you were, we had a situation when, was it 99 or 2000, we had to get rid of our coach, Dosena, Giuseppe Dosena.
Yeah.
What's the story behind that?
That man, you know, was a coach, was not a team player. You have your FE. There's no way the coach will see himself as a bigger person than the FE. You have to work as a team.
Okay. He wasn't working with the FA?
Well, I mean, he wasn't somebody who listens to advice. Because before he came, when we had all these former players, agri-film and others who were all been trained as coaches, and it was decided that, well, they also observe something. So during any game, even when we used to travel out, there were people that we, you know, poach to observe from the stands the game. So if there was anything that they found to be addressed, which would be useful, they will come through the leadership, the FE, then the coach will be spoken to look at that angle, either to effect a change or not to effect a change, you know. And there are people who even come to me. There was a time when people were complaining, everybody just left this guy alone. Several times he would come and beg me that, you know, I should come to anytime I went to the dressing room, things changed because of the information that I'd had from our own people. Give it to him, and then he goes ahead to take the decision. And so when it started, the Buran came amongst them. I decided not to get involved. And he came and begged me. Initially, he wasn't a team player.
So that's why we had to let him go at the time. But he led us to, is it quarterfinals or something?
And during that time, that was when he allowed
input from
you know, the other colleagues around.